Are we doing enough in this country to keep our criminals safe? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I think not. The Billings Gazette reported that a store owner heard a noise coming from his shop. He armed himself and along with his brother went to investigate. They found 3 intruders. After a short scuffle with one of the intruders, 2 shots were fired, killing the intruder. The other 2 accomplices escaped, but were apprehended and arrested a short time later and on their way to rehabilitation. If you do an internet search, you'll find many such stories of law-abiding citizens protecting themselves and their families from criminals with the use of deadly force. This just isn't right. Criminals are only doing what criminals do. Wouldn't it be much better if you set the criminal down, explain to him what he is doing is wrong? He would then understand the error of his ways and go on to lead a productive life. It's possible that it is not even the criminal's fault that they commit crimes. It's probably society's fault. Someone at some point failed. It could have been his parents. Maybe they were too strict. Perhaps they weren't strict enough. Maybe he wasn't hugged enough as a child. A great woman once said, "It takes a village to raise a child." Perhaps the whole gosh darn village failed him. There are areas of our country, such as Washington, D.C., where they have strict gun laws. A criminal can break into a home and feel confident that the homeowner will not have the effective means to defend himself. Other areas of the country, they don't have such laws. The criminal does not have this confidence when he breaks into a house. He can be sneaking through the dark home, only to find himself looking down the barrel of a gun. Bam! Before he knows it, he's dead. Many states require, if a person feels his life is in imminent peril, he first try to retreat before using deadly force. There are 14 states that have enacted laws removing these requirements, making life much more difficult for our criminals. Fortunately, there are organizations such as the Brady Campaign that are working very hard to take guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens, thereby making life safer for our criminals. By now you're probably wondering, is there anything that I can do to help our criminals? I have 3 suggestions. Number 1 is to support organizations such as the Brady Campaign. If you do a quick internet search, you'll find many such organizations, all of which would be more than happy to have your support. Number 2, elect officials that are against the Second Amendment. Again, if you go to the internet and do a background search on your candidate of choice, you can easily find whether they support or are against the Second Amendment. Number 3, write and call your elected officials and demand that they enact laws to take guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens now, before we lose any more criminals. Don't worry, none of these laws will affect our criminals' ability to obtain guns for themselves. If you share my concerns, I encourage you to go out now, follow my 3 suggestions, and then sit down at your computer. Email your friends, relatives, and co-workers. Ask them to do the same thing. Together, we will make life safer for our criminals. Madam Toastmaster.